Let's talk a little bit about voter suppression. In Wisconsin in 2016, 300,000 registered voters, or about 9% of the electorate, didn't have voter IDs that adhered to Wisconsin's pretty strict voter ID laws. We now have a new study by Priorities USA, and it argues that Wisconsin's voter ID laws reduced voter turnout by 200,000 votes and disproportionately affected black voters and Democrats. 200,000 people not voting because of voter ID laws. Donald Trump won Wisconsin by only 22,748 votes. Simple math that most of us can do suggests that the new voter ID laws pushed by Republicans, including in Wisconsin, may have given Donald Trump Wisconsin in the 2016 election. The study contrasted voter turnout in states with similarly strict voter ID laws to states without such laws. We have a chart that we can put up for you related to this. And as you can see, the states that made no changes to their voter ID requirements saw turnout go up from 2012 to 2016. States that changed to go to less strict voter ID laws also saw an increase in turnout from 2012 to 2016. And as you can see at the bottom line, states that changed their voter ID laws to stricter laws saw a nearly 2% decline in voter turnout. That's something that Republicans like because Republicans do better when voter turnout is lower. Let's now go, Pat, to our next graph. Throughout the entire country, the study estimates that strict voter ID laws suppressed about 400,000 votes, again, disproportionately affecting black people. And the study compared numbers between Wisconsin and Minnesota, a state with similar demographics to Wisconsin, but no strict voter ID laws. And if you're looking at this graphic, the green line is black Minnesota voters over recent elections. And as you can see, turnout just ever so slightly lower in 2016 than in 2012. And if you look at the yellow line, you will see that black Wisconsin voters had significantly voter turnout from 2012 to 2016. This isn't the only study that says this. It's consistent with a GAO study from 2014, which showed that, yes, strict voter ID laws affected the 2012 election enough to change election results, suppressing young and minority voters. Of course, this is the case. This is what these laws are made to do. This is what Republicans want. This helps Republicans win. Remember this video, damning video, from Pennsylvania State Representative Mike Tarzai in 2012?
Voter ID, which is going to allow Governor Romney to win the state of Pennsylvania. Done.
Right. It's not a secret. They've been honest about this for a while. Lower turnout is good for Republicans, or just for the more conservative candidate that's running.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that they support voter IDs just out of principle and not because they know it'll give them a benefit in the upcoming elections.
31 states ask for some form of ID at the ballot. 15 ask for photo ID. And bills that would intensify voter ID laws have been introduced in 19 states so far this year. Iowa and Arkansas have already passed laws like that in 2017. But again, solutions to problems that don't exist. Voter fraud, the way Republicans describe, is not a problem. There were something, like you were saying, Pat, 4 instances of in-person voter fraud during the 2016 election, and 3 of them were Republican voters.
I mean, it's so statistically insignificant, and those 4 cases fall far short of the 3 to 5 million people that Trump claims voted illegally in that election.
Right, yeah, as if we still are going to pretend that there was even a chance that that was a real thing. We should also be voting on weekends, or at least have an election day be a federal holiday. I've mentioned that before. But you've got to make the IDs easier to get. People say, hey, the voter IDs are free. That's not really true. Very often you need documents in order to get the voting ID that you have to pay for copies of. Very often people have to travel, and often, which has costs, to the place where you can get one of those voter IDs. And also, many people who work hourly jobs during business hours have to take time off from that job in order to go and get the ID. And that's money that they're going to lose. And not only that, they could also get fired. In a lot of hourly jobs, you can't just say, I'm going to go get a voter ID, give me time off. There are repercussions for that.
Yeah, and those voter IDs have to be completely free because otherwise it violates the 24th Amendment, which bans a poll tax.
If a Republican says, how hard is it to get an ID? You're just trying to get more minorities to vote. that's also not really a criticism. Like, are you arguing it's bad for more people to vote? Are you saying we would be better off if our representative democracy was only representative of a smaller portion of the people in the country? Republicans know that they can't continue to win on policy alone, and they have to keep voters as white as possible. And that's what's behind a lot of these proposals. And there's a lot of discussions about this on our Reddit discussion forum, which I encourage you to check out, davidpakman.com/REDDIT. Today's program is made possible in part by Tagadab. They are the hosting specialists offering all sorts of hosting packages, including cloud server solutions, virtual private server, dedicated servers, co-location options, and their customer service is really sort of their forte. There are so many hosting companies around, and they at Tagadab really take pride in the customer service and expert advice that they offer. If you look them up on Trustpilot, they are rated at a 9.7 out of 10. That is an excellent rating on Trustpilot. And they are offering the David Pakman Show audience a 10 British pound credit on a cloud server solution for new customers. You can learn more about this and sign up at signup.tagadab.com/TDPS. That is signup.tagadab.com/TDPS. By supporting our sponsors, you are also supporting our program. Check it out, signup.tagadab.com/TDPS.